Good morning. It's Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And of course, it replays in its entirety on the cable companies. And that's at 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. And of course, many of you are watching it on some sort of internet device, whether it's your iPad, iPhone, whatever. You can actually pick up the program after the original 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, anytime during the day, 24 hours a day. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
My assistant right here, my sidekick, Andrew Gitros.
Good morning.
And how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
We are taping on Wednesday morning, like we try to tell you. We're taping a little bit earlier today because we're going to an event. What event are we going to?
We're going to a library ribbon cutting.
Yes, sir. And where will that be?
In Port Barre, Louisiana, right there in the middle of town on Saison Street in front of the City Hall. They have a new public library, the John R. Dupre Memorial Library.
Right, and that's named after my brother who made his home most all of his adult life, raised his 5 children over at the home they owned in Port Barre. And it kind of reminds me of the issue that's taking place across the parish right now. There's a group that's attempting to get a referendum on the ballot sometimes in the future. They missed the May election that they were trying for, and of course the council voted it down for the May event. So I'm sure that they are working again to see if possibly something could be done. And you see communities have gone out and have on their own worked to approve and get libraries. The Sunset Library, that's what, South St. Landry?
I think that's what they call themselves, right? South St. Landry, and based out of the Sunset area.
Right, and they passed a tax. They taxed themselves for a library. Opelousas Eunice have one for many years. Probably today it's not enough. At the time it was possibly enough, but today it's not. But that's another issue. And then now we have the Port Barre.
Doesn't Washington have a small
one
as well?
And Washington has one also. That's correct. So if anybody else has one in the parish, please let us know.
Show this photo, Steve, while we're talking about John. John, of course, was a school teacher at Port Barre High School. You got my photos there, Steve? Nope. Got him? He's trying. Okay, there we are. That's John right there in the middle with you on the left side of the screen and your brother Cody on the right. But he was a school teacher for years.
Principal.
At Port Barre. He taught ag, was the big one. Most of the people I know knew him, and became principal and later became the school board superintendent, then became an assistant, I guess assistant secretary of education in Baton Rouge at one point,
on the state level.
On the state level.
State level.
And then did lobbying
in the
work.
division administration, I think it was. But his duties were to lobby for educational programs.
Correct. So always involved in education. By the time I came up, he was already at the school board level. Of course, I chased some of those pretty little daughters he had. So I got to know Mr. John very, very well, and he was a reader over at Sacred Heart Church in Port Barre for years. So I got to know him, just sitting around talking with him and hearing his insight and seeing the demeanor he had. He just, always was well-dressed, always level-headed, elegant in the way he spoke. Just a really, really fine man.
Quiet guy, but when he spoke up,
everybody listened.
Everybody listened. That saying has a lot of worth to it. It's a strong statement. And I was certainly happy to see them name this library after him. I understand that his son or sons, Corny and Bernie, put up a good bit of the money for the construction project that took place, converting it from a home into a library. I went there when it was probably about 90% complete, and haven't been back, so I'm sure I'm going to see a completely different appearance because now the equipment is all been installed, a number of computers, and computers are highly recommended for libraries. I gave one to the library in Grand Prairie
when
Elementary.
they restored their own library
So
there.
that's libraries that we have in the parish, which we assume that each school has one. Hopefully they do. And
that's a library where, as a child, John would have gone to.
yes, and Cody would have gone to, and yours truly, Bobby Dupree. I went there first and half of the second grade, then moved to Opelousas, where I was.
And that photo
raised.
that they were showing was the three brothers over at the retreat house. I want to remind everybody that next week we're leaving for retreat. That's the night of February 27th. After work, we leave on the 27th to go to Grand Coteau, and that's over at Our Lady of the Oaks Retreat House, the picture in the courtyard there. We go from Thursday night until Sunday at noontime. If you're interested in joining us for the Jesuit retreat, a silent retreat, really, really great time, great atmosphere. You're going to know a lot of the people
one
there.
of the best in the year.
And the food is always beyond compare.
Miss Marie and her staff there,
That's
Marie Williams.
That's right. She called me during the week. I talked to her for a little while. She was in a
Called
good
me.
mood.
Yep, she's ready to go, waiting
That's
on
right.
us.
So you can, if you want to book it, you can send us an email here at the show, or you can send me a phone call at 351-0732. We still got a couple of spots left to bring you. How about some sponsors, too, while we're talking?
Yes.
Piggly
yes.
Wiggly. Go over to your local Piggly Wiggly with locations 2 in Opelousas and 1 in beautiful downtown Simmsport, Louisiana. Right now, the specials are USDA baking hens. You can get fresh or frozen at 99 cents a pound. They've got the Boston butt pork steaks in the big family packs, $1.49 a pound. They've got certified Angus boneless beef rump roast, $3.99 a pound. And they've got some Manda smoked sausage, the 3 1/4 pound box at under $7. Go by your local Piggly Wiggly. Great place to go. Don't forget about school supplies. Well, I always say that, you always rushing to school, you need the ink pens or a composition book or something. Always houseware type stuff that they've got pots for sale, burners for sale, your local Piggly Wiggly. And one more sponsor. Let's go with Carl's Thrifty Way. If you want to get your prescriptions filled, Carl's is your place to go. They'll help you fill any prescription. They'll compound multiple prescriptions together in one easier-to-take pill or liquid, make it easier for you to handle. That way you don't have all those little bottles in that tackle box where you're trying to figure out where everything is you got to take. They've got great home decorating ideas, great gift ideas right now. Easter's right around the corner, Mardi Gras. If you're trying to decorate the house for Mardi Gras, they've got plenty of those type of decorations going around. They make huge wreaths and all there for you if you're looking for that to do. I know they did a big, pretty one to put over your mantle a couple of years ago. Go by Carl's Thrifty Way.
Okay, let's go with Vicki was at the hospital. She was at the Lafayette General Surgery Hospital. That's a unit of the hospital, but it's not with the large complex, but it's right in that same vicinity.
Made more for outpatient type work.
Basically outpatient and maybe like overnight. She had to stay overnight. She had a foot reconstructed, very, very severe, major operation, and then the pain is really, really something. Can't put any weight on it for 8 weeks, a minimum of 8 weeks. So it's going to be tough for her, but
you'll have to rub that foot every night.
she had Dr. Angela Meyer was her surgeon and did a real good job. Vicki, very confident. They showed her x-rays of what had taken place, what had been repaired, actually repaired. And I want to compliment the receptionist at the Lafayette General Surgery Hospital, Miss Peggy Hebert. And she says, I asked her what her name was. She says, Peggy. And then a few seconds later, she said, oh, that's Hebert, because there's 2 of us here at the place. And when we were checking out yesterday, the nurse, the RN on duty, that was given, last-minute instructions on how to properly load and get in and out of the wheelchair, or this little scooter they have where you put the knee, where the foot that can't go, you put the knee on this little scooter and you scoot around. Something new, and it seems to be very stable. You have to remember it's a narrow two wheels front and back.
So you have that inside the house? She rides in the house?
Yeah, in the house. That's for,
well, you can get your Harley and you can race her.
Right now she's not
racing?
Oh, the pain is bad.
I bet.
I mean, last night it was a tough night. The RN that was working with me, I asked her where she was from. She said, well, I said, well, first of all, what is your name? Michelle. And she said, you may know my daddy. And I think she knew I knew her daddy. And her daddy is Junior Prejean. I said, oh, yeah, Junior managed the Bertrand Lumber Company over in Lawtell for many, many years. And she says when Mr. and Mrs. Bertrand died, he purchased the home. So he still living, he and his wife are living there. Good morning to all of you. And I said, he loved the horse racing industry. She said, yeah. And he had his Janet's filly was the name of a quarter horse that he had that really did well, was a little stakes winner. And on about things that we had done and all. And of course, he likes to play cards. He's known for that. He's a pro at it. We'll stop that right there. But anyhow, the whole group at the hospital were very, very helpful and very capable, I might add.
How about this? Just show some pictures here. We got pictures that Mike Touchette, our good friend from Opelousas that's now in the Atlanta area doing a lot of construction. We talked about him that he was helping people get pull them off the side of the road and all with all the ice in Atlanta. And of course, a lot of you have seen on the news all these problems. Look at all the cars. I don't know if you can see that very clearly on your screen, but a lot of cars all lined up in the ditches. And I don't know if they just parked them there, or by the time they slipped down.
And that's the front end of his machine there.
Yeah, and he's got basically, he put a snow plow, you know, a big blade on the front of his dump trucks, and that's what he was doing to help clear the road. But that Mike, I tell you what,
that's
is
Mike.
Something
that doesn't
else.
surprise me at all.
And you can see one car laying on its side. So I mean, they had some trouble over there. And then I see with you, with some of the ice over at your home in Natchez.
Broke some
branches.
pretty large branches and got in there with my little electric chainsaw.
Well, who's your yard man there with that cap? That's you.
That's old
Look how
Bobby.
skinny you got, man.
Yep. And then we'll sure put the new little pick-em-up truck that I purchased, put it to work the first weekend I had it.
Loading it up.
Thank you, Fred Bunall, for letting me have that little truck at a good price.
Fixing your little building up, I see.
Yep, measuring it up. And just kind of cleaning things up. And then Saturday, it must have been Saturday afternoon, took a ride over to St. Francisville and went over to the Amahara's Botanical Gardens. I had taken a picture, 6 months ago approximately, last November, December. Well, that's right at 6 months. And of course, it's closed. I was kind of disappointed.
March 1st, I think they wait until the spring cranks up.
Got a sign there on that other, but it's a beautiful, beautiful facility. And of course, Walter Amahara was a world champion weightlifter, and Ramp and I were in the same old dorm as Walter was when we were all at SLI, and he went on to become a renowned landscaping, I guess, contractor. And I think he's turned the business over, as I understand it, turned the business over to his daughter, and spending a lot of his time on the botanical gardens, which keep him pretty busy.
Well, folks, we're going to take a 1-minute break. We're going to see y'all at the start of the second quarter.